Welcome to What's Cooking with Como. Since the kitchen is the heart of the home, I'm inviting all of my guests to my home kitchen in Washington, D.C. for connection and conversation. Yay! Okay, so I'm really excited to welcome and celebrate our next guest. His name is Tobias Dorzon. He's a celebrity chef, former NFL player, restaurateur with Huncho House in 1123, a really loved TV personality, Maryland Chef of the Year 2024. Thank you so much for being here today.
I need to take you on the road to.
Man,
that was a nice announcement right there. I like that.
Thank you. I have to give you your flowers because you've accomplished a lot.
I'm getting there. You know, I'm still working, but I like where I'm at right now. I like that.
I like that. And you're all smiles. And here's the deal: since we're in my home kitchen, and I'm so excited to talk food with people, we're going to start every episode of What's Cooking with Como with, what is your favorite dish?
Oh, my favorite dish. It's crazy that we think about, because when you think about favorite dish, you know, you automatically go to thinking about this high-end, super. My favorite dish is French fries.
Oh my God, mine too.
And it comes from when I was a kid. I was born in Silver Spring. And I lived next to this Italian deli, literally probably 30 seconds from my house, that I would go and take out their trash for them and stuff like that. And they'll pay me like in food. So I'll get like French fries and stuff like that. And it started out, that's always loving fries. Just always wanted to go get French fries. And now as an adult, I still love fries. I just end up elevating fries, like toss them in truffle oil and rosemary and lime zest and stuff like that. Even now, I have crab fries at 1123 at the restaurant. So crab fries always been my thing. Like if I can go for the rest of my life, if I had to eat one thing, you give me some fries and some ketchup, and
you're good to go.
I'm good to go.
A little salt.
A little bit of salt, some rosemary, and just a little bit of truffle oil. I'm good to go.
And I love the way your eyes light up when we talk about food together.
Oh man, listen, I love food, man. Like, you know, food is just that one thing that brings. It's crazy that like you're actually doing this, because the best thing to have conversation over is food.
Yeah, it's the most fun thing, and you sit in somebody's home kitchen.
Yes,
you
get to really see. You really get to see their mood of what they can do in the kitchen. I can always tell when I go to people's kitchen how much they really cook and how much they don't cook.
Because you were looking at my pans when we were preparing this.
You know, checking out the pans, checking out to see what cutlery you got.
My seasoning collection back there.
Yeah, you know. So, listen, I walked into a lot of millionaire kitchens that didn't have 5 pots in their house. So you
knew right away.
Yeah, so people are coming in here cooking. Nobody's cooking in here on a regular basis, but you can walk in the kitchens and see you got a lot of silverware. You know, so it's like, okay, you probably get down in here a little bit.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like making some homemade Italian American food.
And it's nothing like a good countertop.
Yes, you need a good countertop. The only thing is, these show streaks so easy.
Yeah, black is definitely the hardest countertops to keep clean.
Thank you for saying that, because I go crazy trying to wipe these down.
Yeah, black. People think it's white, but you know, the minute you see white, you can wipe it up. But with black, you see the streaks, you see the fog in it, you see the sticky parts in it. Yeah, it drives you
crazy. And you know I'm a messy chef, so I got stuff everywhere when I'm cooking.
Oh Lord, we gonna work on that, Cole.
Yes, because I know you are very organized.
Oh man, I'm clean as you go.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Like, culinary school taught me that. Like, just clean as you go. Like,
and where did you go to culinary school?
So I went to culinary school and the Art Institute first to study baking and pastry. And then I went to ICI in Sicily to study fine dining.
And that was after the NFL?
That was after football. Where, you know, football became a job. So it became something that, of course, I've always loved my whole life. But it became a job. Like, you know, I wasn't one of those first rounders. You know, I went free agent. I bounced around from team to team.
You're good at it.
Yeah, I was good at it, but I don't think my dedication to it was what my dedication is to food. Like, I didn't care about. I had a talent that I didn't care to perfect.
But this is a passion. Cooking is your.
This is a passion. This is a love. This is a a dream, and it's a safe place for me. I
Right.
want to say that. Like, I can really describe who I am on a plate, and I think that what football football was amazing. It did so much for me. It was
Opened a
able
lot
to
of doors.
open a lot of doors. It gave me confidence that I have. The hard work that you take from playing football, you know, even able to make it to a professional level, you take that and you take it into any other culture or anything else that you're doing in life, you know, you end up succeeding in it. And I just took that into food, and food is something where, you know, chefs are artists, man, and you know we like to display our art through our food and through textures and through flavors and through the way your food looks on the plate.
Like this plated perfection right here.
Like this plate of perfection right here, man. And this is our newest item. With Tobias.
No, here's the thing. They want to know a little bit more about your backstory, like how long you were in the NFL.
Oh, so I wasn't in there for long. I was in there for a year and a half. I bounced around from practice squads.
But it was enough to open those doors that you needed open.
It was. And then I ended up going to Canada. I played for Winnipeg for a year and a half. And I realized that this was just a job. I was waking up every day doing something that I was good at, but I didn't care to master anymore.
Right.
You know, so I was away from, at this time I had only had my oldest daughter, Riley, and I was away from her a lot. She didn't have a passport, so she couldn't come to Canada.
That's hard.
Yeah, so it was just like, all right, you know what? I got released from Canada. I had got hurt and was down for a while. And Canada is 8 teams. The NFL is 32 teams. And Canada's season starts like 2 months before the NFL. So when Canada is like midway through their season, it's like the end of preseason for the NFL. So, you know, you got 32 teams that's releasing 20 people apiece. And now Canada has like this world of people to start picking up people if people get hurt, if they want to release a couple people. It's almost like the end of free agency for Canada. So they picked up a couple guys in the midst of me being hurt, and like they rushed me to come back. And when I came back, that week I came back, they released me. And when I came home, my agent was like, okay, we're going to get 100% healthy and we'll start training and work out for some teams. And I looked my agent in the face, was like, I'm not going back, bro. and he thought I was joking. I was just like, no, I'm really about to. I got like 2 more weeks. I can sign up for the Art Institute.
Right.
I'm about to sign up for the Art Institute. I'm about to go to culinary school. And he was like, bro, like, you're 27. You still got time.
And you were like living that dream that a lot of people wanted.
Yeah, but you know, when you don't like work anymore, it becomes a job. And when it becomes a job, you don't give it as much as you do for something that you love. You know, so it was just like I didn't love it anymore. Like I wasn't happy waking up every morning. Going to meetings was not fun. You know, it was just like cool. We played games on Saturday. So like your adrenaline was up for Saturday games, and of course you loved the game of football, but everything else that came with it was something that I hated.
Right.
I dreaded doing. So it was just, I got to a point where I was just like, you know, I think it's just time for me to pivot in my life. And it was always where I was always raised in kitchens. You know, my dad had an African restaurant when I was a child. And I didn't do the fun part of that. Like that was take out the trash, go bust the tables, go wash dishes.
So you learned the business from literally the ground up.
Yes, you know, and seeing it and seeing like a small ran business, you know, he catered, he worked in corporate. You know, so to see all those things, it was something that I was just like, I know with who I am as a person, I think I could take that into food and be somebody big in the food. The way I started to see myself, like I was cooking in college, I cooked in the dorms. Yeah. Like I had little hot plates, I would cook in the dorms. When I went to Jackson State, my off-campus apartment, we would have like fish fries and stuff like that. So it was like something that I really liked doing. I really figured out like, no, you really like food. And I wanted to learn terminology. So I was just like, man, let me go to culinary school.
And you find yourself in Sicily.
And then so that came about just working under a chef that said, if you want to know the best chefs, you got to go across the water. And I was like, damn, like, our institute was amazing. I just felt like it was a lot that I was missing.
Right, you need to build on that foundation.
I wanted to build on it, so I went over there and I was able to learn the fine dining part, and that's where it comes with, wanting the more out of food, like plating the things that I've eaten my whole life, but just elevating it to a point to make it look
the next level.
Next level on the plate.
My great-grandma came from Sicily.
Oh, so she makes some good pasta?
Her name is Lily Sinatra, and she's who taught my aunts how to cook, how I learned my love of food. So,
always in the household.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like culinary school definitely enhanced who I was, but watching my mom and dad cook all the time.
And you're one of 10, right?
I'm youngest of 10.
Youngest of 10.
I'm the youngest of 10.
So you had a lot of that food and celebration in the kitchen growing up.
Yeah. Like even right now, my two of my sisters, like they do a lot of catering for like our culture food, and like food is just something where it's always been in our family. My mom cooks, my dad. They argue between, even though my dad's a professional chef, they argue on who's the better chef in the house. And I don't know, my mom can flat out cook.
Oh yeah. That's always a fight among my cousins.
Who can cook better?
Who can cook the best?
Yeah, well, it ain't no argument in my household.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't no argument right now.
Good.
They know I'm the chef.
You are the chef of the house out of all 10 siblings. What was your dad's restaurant?
So my dad had a restaurant named Kindaja on Georgia Avenue. It was a West African restaurant, and he had it for about 8 years. And I got to see my dad be the best version of himself, like in that space. But it also taught me, like, businesses aren't easy.
Right.
Like,
there's a lot that goes into it besides being a great chef.
There is a lot that goes into it outside of being just a great chef. And you got to have those components of the business side. And that's what I'm learning right now. Like, it's a lot of people that can cook very well.
Right.
But if you don't know that business side, and if you don't have that understanding that this is not an overnight project, then it's going to be a hard road for you. Just know that. So for those people that ask me all the time, like, how's the restaurant business? Restaurant business is definitely something that you gotta love. You have to love hospitality, customer service, and food.
And I think doing every job in the business, from taking out the trash at your dad's restaurant, gives you an appreciation for everybody who's working for you now.
Well, it helps your staff know, especially when you got a small business, it's different from having a corporation. But you got a small business, like directing and never showing is something that veers people off from you. Like, hey, the dishwasher call out, or if I got to send a dishwasher home, I'm going to wash dishes.
And this is something I've always loved about you, because I was trying to remember the first time we met. I think like 8 years ago.
This is definitely, it's 2017.
Yeah, so we were doing TV segments together cooking, and what I always admired about you is whenever you came on the show or I came out to you, you made sure your entire staff was included and everyone had time to shine. I
just feel like, just like from where I'm from, we don't get them opportunities on a regular basis.
Right.
And I always want to make sure, like, there's always one friend in the group that has their foot in a room that normally a lot of us can't get in.
Yeah.
Like LeBron James just happened to be this basketball star in his group, but it was a room that he could put his friends in now, and now Rich Paul is one of the best agents, and Mav Carter has his own business going. But it was just like, now LeBron was in that room, I could bring my friends in that room with me. So a lot of the times it's like, if I get the opportunity to go on Fox, I know what Fox was able to do for me.
That platform.
Yeah, I know what it was able to do for me, especially early on in my career. Like, going on Fox early on in my career was like, so big, like, and it boosted my confidence as who I was as a chef. So I just, once I started to go on national television and stuff like that, I felt like whenever I would go on Fox, these up and coming chefs that are under me, like, if they needed some type of motivation or wondered why I went as hard as I went or what made me push to go harder, it was those moments on Fox like that. So I figured, like, if I get a chance to go on there, I'm already in a certain position where I'm elevating myself every day. How about not elevate these people that's along with me and bring my team along with me so everybody can understand what it is that I'm actually chasing? Because if I'm the only one chasing, if we're all chasing to be successful and rich and have a fantastic culinary career, but I'm the only one that ever tasted it, it's just like telling them what it feels like to get there is only telling them.
Right.
But if you start to put them in positions to make them feel a certain type of way, like I know what it feels like when the first time I was on Fox and I had people reposting me and people like shouting me out. I was like, oh, I saw my baby on TV. It was a good feeling that made me wanted to continue to get better at my craft. So I just always feel like, hey, if I give somebody that opportunity, who knows? It may spark their love or it may just keep them at a certain level of wherever they're going to go. Like, and I've also learned throughout this whole process, like everybody's not going to love everything the way you love it.
No. Or see things through your eyes.
See things through your eyes.
Or appreciate the vision that you have for yourself.
They're not. Like, they're not. What you may have a vision for yourself may not be everybody else's plan.
Right.
So you got a lot of people that like to cook, but they don't care to be the best chef ever. Right. They don't care. They as long as they're
happy in their lane.
They're happy in their lane. Some people might want to be like, there's a difference. Some people are reporters and some people are just great at what they do. So you're good at like talking to people. You're good at bringing things out of people because it doesn't feel like robotic. Yeah. So it's not something that, you gotta go, like you're not going, like, then I gotta go to the station today and I gotta talk to people. It's like what you do. And and you enjoy it. And everybody can't do that. Like it's a skill that you have to have to interview people, to talk to people, to be able to bring out things that normally, I was on Food Network for 5 years and they didn't even know I went to culinary school because it was just something that producers that I had before just never talked about. And then I had this one producer named Hillary that we talk to all the time. And now she's freelancing right now because she felt like she was just like trapped in a rabbit hole.
And she needed to spread her creative
wings. And she just needed to be able to spread her wings and like do what makes her happy and produce the way she wanted to produce because she was actually the one that was able to, get a lot of things out of me that the network had no clue about.
Because they never asked?
They never asked. And it just never had the people just to just like genuinely, like authentically bring it out of me.
Right.
Like, sometimes it's not even about questions that people ask. It's just about, if you're having a good conversation with somebody, like sometimes it just naturally comes out. Yeah. And I don't think everybody have that just natural ability to bring just certain conversations out of people. Like, so it's not something that, you can just wake up and be like, oh yeah, I just want to start interviewing people. I just want to have a podcast, or I just want to, like, no, you can't just do that. Like, and I've learned that, like, by having my own show on ESPN, that first season was
a learning curve. But you're great at it. I love watching you on TV.
But it's not a everyday thing.
I understand.
That was my first time being the person to,
like, the front-facing person. Kind of hosting the show. Because you were on Tournament of Champions, right?
Yeah, where I'm on the show.
Right.
Where, like, I'm a contestant or like I'm a co-host. But to have a show and then you're the host, you're the one asking the questions, you're the one having to keep everything flowing.
It's a different feeling,
right?
It's
a different animal of life that it's not something you can just wake up and do. It's not something that that it's also something that you have to love to do because you have to actually practice it.
Yes.
You have to, like, my comfortability level, I'm sure you know, like, my comfortability
You get
level on
anxiety.
being on camera now compared to when I first got on camera was like night and day.
You're a different person than the first time we cooked together.
For sure. 100,000%. Like, that's just the overall confidence in myself.
Right. And what you do
And in what I
how
do.
you present it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're filming Diners and Drive with Guy.
Wait, we need to pause for a second. You sent me this picture of you and Guy Fieri, and I'm like, what is happening? Are you special guest? And you are hosting this season.
Yeah, so, just my relationship with Guy is like, a lot of people won't understand it. Like, he has...
Y'all are like brothers.
He legit, genuinely is my brother. And I started out on his show. And, like,
How long ago was that?
That was 2017.
Wow, so right around the time...
2018.
How'd y'all get connected with Guy?
My Instagram.
Get out.
Yeah, my Instagram. Like, I met Guy on... People from his team reached out to me and it was just like, we've been watching you and we want you to come out to do to do a Guy's Grocery Game. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, cool. Like,
that's fun.
And at that time, they had me on a budget game episode. That was my first episode, first time going out there. And so I always felt like I was a great chef. Like, but I think going on the show helped me. It boosted my confidence to the max, especially my first episode. Like my first 3 times on Guys Grocery Games, I won. So it was almost like...
That's a big deal.
Yeah, so it was a very big deal. Like, my first time losing on Guys Grocery Games was, like, devastating.
I'm sure it was.
It was like, I called my PR at the time. I called her, was just like, damn, I just lost. She was like, boy, get off my phone. Like, and I was just like, no, like, I really just lost. And
like, it meant a lot to you.
She was like, bro, you lost for the first time. Like, after
the
being
fourth
on...
time.
Yeah, after being on here like 4 times, she was like, you'll be okay. Like, trust me. And Guy was one of those people, like, he always... What he taught me about food first was, you can be the best chef. If you come on here and you're not a personality, you won't be back. And he's like, it's more than just cooking. Because right now, if I got on TV right now and I just had my head down and cooking all day.
And you were quiet and just paying attention to details.
I wouldn't hold anybody's attention. And he was like, you got to be a personality. So he was like, win, lose, or draw, you already won by being on this platform.
And showing up as yourself.
And showing up as yourself. And that's what I think when people talk about, like, food, like TV chefs, like, it's more about being a personality, being a brand of yourself. Yeah, of course, we know you are a chef, but what is it that you bring to the table outside of being a chef?
That makes you stand out.
That makes you stand out. And it was just that personality and how he taught me along the way. And, I used to always be like, dang, am I ever going to judge? Am I ever going to be a host? And am I ever going to have my own show? And now when I look back at it, I see why he took his time with me. It was just things that I probably in my mind thought I was ready for.
But he was helping to develop you into the better version of yourself.
Develop me into the best version of myself. And, after the accident, God was one of those people, like, from the 3rd day of the accident to right now, like, it was like constantly checking on me, constantly checking on my parents, making sure I'm good, like, calling me, talking to me, and just,
Oh no, what just fell? The spirits are here protecting you.
They're ready to eat.
For real.
The spirits are ready to eat. The spirits are saying, what's going on?
No, but I want to remind everyone, because we haven't touched on it yet, I wanted to tell your backstory first for where your journey started with food to where you are today, right? You think about it this way. You win Maryland Chef of the Year 2024. Honcho House is a huge success. I'm at your Women's History Month dinner. Your mom's there. This was in 2024 of March. We go over to 1123. It's not open yet. You unveil this mural of your mom and talk about how you're expanding your business. Everything's amazing. Everything's going great. And we fast forward to November of 2024, the month that you're turning 40 years old.
Oh man, the month of I felt like I was just about to hit. It's funny. I felt like I was just about to hit my peak. Like I felt like I was turning 40. I was about to open up my second restaurant. Yeah, man, and just had to deal with life just different.
Throwing you a curveball.
Throwing me a curveball.
It's been 5 months. You're on the road to recovery. You're the survivor of gun violence from this robbery that happened as you're on your way home with your significant other.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Damn, my bad.
No, don't. Please, Tobias. I'm sorry for being so heavy. I want everyone to know how beautiful it is where you are just 5 months later. Doctors didn't think you'd walk for 10 months. And here you are, not only walking and standing in your kitchen and back living your purpose, but the amount of people you've inspired. When Guy reacted to you in Miami just a few months ago, how many views did that get? 20 million views.
Yeah.
The people around the world are rooting for you. We're going to stop.
On the next episode, we will continue to hear about Tobias's incredibly inspiring journey as he heals both mentally and physically from this shocking event that changed his life forever.